Hello, my name is Kareli Martinez and I will be presenting Peachtree Case B. Question 1A asks to find the nominal expected rate of return and the effective annual rate of return. Assuming Series A has a par value of $100 and pays 4.32 cumulative dividend and is selling at $48. To find the nominal rate, I multiply the par value of $100 by the 4.32% cumulative dividend and divide it by the selling price per share of $48 and giving me a 9% nominal expected rate of return. For the effective annual rate of return, I added 1 to the nominal rate, which I had gotten earlier, divided by the power of n minus 1, getting 9.31%. B asked to find the current value per share as of January 1st of 1993. For the problem, I multiplied the par value by the cumulative dividend and divided it by the required rate of return, getting a current value per share of $24.38. They give a different scenario saying TECO estimates a 5-year dividend growth rate to be 6% and it will continue indefinitely. Question 2A asks for the expected rate of return for the beginning of 1992. First, I found the dividend of 1.908 by multiplying dividend 0 times 1 plus the growth rate of 6. Then I used the 1.908 divided by the stock price in 1992 of 22.26, then added the 6% growth rate, giving me a 14.57%. 2B, they wanted the expected dividend yield and expected capital gain yield on January 1st. Expected dividend was found by dividing dividend 1 of 1.8 by the price of stock, which is 22.26, giving an 8.0%. Capital gains yield is found by subtracting beginning price of stock from ending price of stock, then dividing by beginning price, giving me a 6%. Asked what condition must be held true when using the constant growth model if real-world stocks satisfy the constant growth model. In order for the constant growth model to hold true, payout dividends remain constant over a period of time. And real-world stocks don't hold true to the conditions of the model because they have changing earnings, meaning their dividends are not constant over a period of time. For question 3, the scenario is, suppose you believe that TECO's 6% dividend growth rate will only hold 5 years. After that, the dividend growth rate will return to TECO's historical 10-year average of 7.5%. A asked to find the stock price as of January 1, 1992, with the required rate return is 13.5%. For B, what is the expected stock price at the end of 1992? And for C, what is the expected stock rate at the end of 1993? For Part A, Part B, and Part C, I did it all together. I put them in the table. The first column had the dividends. The second column had the years. The third had growth dividend. The fourth had cash flow. The fifth, required rate of return. The sixth had growth percent. And the seventh had the price of the stock. For A, I got a stock price of 31.8. For B, I got a stock price of $33.708. And for C, I got $35.73 for its stock price at the end of 1993. For Part D of question 3, it asks for the expected dividend yield, capital gains yield, and total return for 1992. For the expected dividend yield, I got 6%. For the capital gains, I got 8.57%. And for total return, I got 14.57%. For Part E of question 3, suppose TECO's dividend was expected to remain constant at $1.80 for the next 5 years and then grow at a constant 6% rate. If the required rate of return is 13.5%, would TECO's stock value be higher or lower than the answer in Part A? I ended up creating a new table with like the previous for Part A, Part B, and Part C. The only difference, I changed the cash flows and the new prices, adjusting it to the constant rate of 6% and the required rate of 13.5. I ended up getting a net present value of the stock to be at $19.27. For part F of question 3, Teco's stock price was 22.26 at the beginning of 1992. Using the growth rates given in the introduction to this question, what is the stock's expected rate? To find the expected rate of return, I did dividend 1 divided by the beginning price plus the growth rate and ended up getting 8.54% as the stock's expected rate of return. Part G of question 3 asks, based on the information provided in value line tables, is the assumed 6% growth rate reasonable? What has been the trend? Based on the information provided in the value line tables, 6% growth rate is between 6% and the 7.5, which is quite reasonable. For part H of question 3, it asks, could those figures be used to develop an estimated long-run sustainable growth rate? Does this figure support the 7.5% growth rate given in the problem? So based on the calculations of my retention ratio that I got of 5.35%, the figure should not be used. It is significantly lower when compared to the growth rate of 7.5%. In the long run, these figures would develop an inaccurate estimate of the sustainable growth.